I want to take you to the financial review now, because this is also of concern for people up and down the East Coast. This new virus case sparks alert in 3 states. Efforts to contain Victoria's outbreak have been thrown into doubt after a Melbourne woman... Now, Nathan, I couldn't believe this. She broke the state's lockdown and drove with her family through regional New South Wales to Queensland, where she's now tested positive to COVID-19. Businesses and health experts say it's still safe to end the national border closures and restrictions despite this single new case. What did you make of this? So you've got to worry. There are concerns now for people on the coast, on those towns, New South Wales and into Queensland.
The concern is that this is going to spread like wildfire. It seems to be a particularly contagious variant that broke out in Melbourne. Look, I just pray for people up and down that East Coast that it's contained, that contact traces are all over it quickly, that it's controlled very, very hastily, because you know, you look at some of the lockdowns we've seen in Melbourne, some of the economic costs, some of the problems they've got, even trying to open up after the lockdown comes to an end. And
well, let's go back to the front page of the Australian, trying to open up after the lockdown. Rachel Baxendale, who's been all over this story, her headline tomorrow is Red Tape Blues, Prolong Agony. I think this will make you despair if you're in Victoria, particularly in Melbourne. Victorian health authorities say red tape prevented 5 million of you from being released from lockdown until Friday, despite a decision Tuesday night to allow, quote, a careful easing of restrictions. Now, despite James Merlino hailing confirmation of the path out of this fortnight-long lockdown as a good day, Brett Sutton, who's the Chief Health Officer, said Victorians couldn't leave their homes a day early because, quote, there was a complex legal drafting to be done to make new restrictions binding. Honestly, Nathan.
I would be just astonished if anybody in Victoria bought that. I mean, obviously, he's telling it how it is, but how is that even possible? How do you not draft this stuff and have it ready to go? How does it take days to draft? How is this so complex that they can't get it in place immediately? I just find it astonishing. Yeah. It is just bureaucratic nonsense.
Well, still, if you're in Victoria, you know that gyms and the events industry continue to have no income for at least another week. The Australian reporting that ongoing bans on indoor exercise, wedding guests capped at 10, a limit of 50 applies to funerals and religious gatherings. And Melburnians you'll be allowed to leave your homes for non-essential reasons from midnight tomorrow night, Thursday. But you can't travel more than 25 kilometres or visit regional Victoria on a long weekend.
Well, they're just making it overly complex, aren't they?
Let's take a look at the Sydney Morning Herald tomorrow.